Well, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another trade recap. It's been a hot minute since I've done one of these, but I'm just going to go over today the trades that I missed and the trade that I took, bias coming into today and whatever. So coming into today, I was leaning more bullish on the day, just due to the fact that we had this 4-hour order block down here that we respected, made an SMT with this low, and then we also did respect the 4-hour fair value gap here. So that made me want to be more bullish towards this 1 hour and then these buy side draws and liquidity. We have a lot of low resistance liquidity resting above in the higher time frame, so I thought that we maybe could come and push up towards taking all of that. So coming into today, I'll go to right, so this is 9 here. So we had equal highs formed. I think maybe this was with news coming out. I'm not too sure, but we had equal highs here, and then we had the 1 hour above it. These are my main draws for the day. I did want to see price somewhat get a trade towards this. I did want to wait for news to come out before taking any trades, but that isn't the reason I didn't take this. The reason I didn't take this is because I was looking at this 1 hour down here when there was this 1 hour above, and I never saw price tap this 1 hour because I was waiting for this 1 hour. I didn't even know this 1 hour was here. So that's kind of what fucked my trade, my initial trade that I should have taken, which is a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. Just a little bit of human error. I'm not gonna be annoyed at myself for that, because that's just what happens. Shit happens. Make mistakes. So I'm not too bothered about that. So when market opened here, not here, here, we shot up a little bit, and then we ended up coming down into this 1 hour here. And then this is at the point where I was waiting for this hour. I didn't even have this one marked out, so I was waiting for this 1 hour here. But we did end up having a SMT with this 1 hour. It was here, so we did have this SMT here with the 1 hour that I ended up seeing after the trade started pulling out. I entered this trade, so price was about here probably a couple points off of my two draws on liquidity. So, or like 10, 20 points off of both of these draws. But I ended up entering on my eval. I can't even look at the paper. I ended up entering on my eval, just a little dub to pass it. So that's how I passed my eval today. And then I didn't trade the XFA, so I'll show you the trade though. So we ended up tapping the 1 hour SMT. We've got this fat accumulation. We manipulate out of that accumulation into a PD array. End up getting a 1 minute IFVG, which is the highest time frame of the trading leg that was formed on market open. Your break even would have been up here, and then your full TP would have been the equal highs and the 1 hour. So I actually got hit pretty quickly. That would have been a fat trade if you covered the body there. That would have been a 1 to 2 or a 1 to 3 RR trade. Unfortunately, I missed out on that. I would, if I saw the 1 hour, I would have taken it, but honestly, I just thought that we edged this 1 hour. I was like, oh, this is just a shiny bad PA. I'm just not going to take this trade, obviously, because it's not reacting off anything. But I just wasn't really paying much attention, and then ended up being a very good setup that I missed out on. So as well as I ended up entering though, like must have been like here, just for a wee dub. I didn't have a stop loss obviously, but just ended up edging that to this high, passing my account. I was only 225 off passing it anyway, so that's why I ended up doing it, just for an easy wee dub. But yeah, I ended up missing that trade. Very unfortunate. But yeah, was in line with my bias and everything. So yeah, a very good trade. If you took that, well fucking done, to be honest. The only real issue with it was pre-news, but that's not that big of a deal. I actually hope my audio is working. I never checked my audio before this, so if my audio's not working, I might greet, but it's all good. So anyway, after that, we ended up tapping into this 1 hour for value gap. Also with, I think it's with NEQ, the higher time frame range. I didn't check this though, but just below. I mean, if you read it from here, and here, but yeah, just literally below. But yeah, so we had tapped the 1 hour, and then we ended up opening up a 50-minute and a 5 minute eventually. And then I was just waiting for news to come out. There's nothing to take here. I did actually that's a lie. I got a little bit of FOMO after missing this trade. So I saw this 5 minute, and then we ended up getting a wee inversion out of that 5 minute. But the reason this was a bad trade, and I knew I shouldn't have taken it, but I did take it anyway. The issue with this trade is we have a 15 minute or stop loss that's a bit formed. So when I did enter this trade, like it was literally like what 6 minutes until this formed a 15 minute gap. So that was the kind of issue with that trade there. So I shouldn't have taken this. It was a close break even though, so I just thought we were going to continue higher. I was more overall bullish, but I should have waited for that 15 minutes. So I ended up losing like 150 on that trade. It was a bit of a de-risk trade, just due to the fact I knew it was a improbable stop loss. So I ended up losing 150 on that. Not too big of a deal. I was a little bit annoyed that I took it anyway out of FOMO, but you know, you get a little bit emotional here and there. It happens. It's just because I missed this trade. I'm gonna work on not letting that happen again though, because it's just not really ideal, not what you want. So, anyway, I ended up getting stopped out of that pretty rapid, and then we ended up opening this 15 minute here. Now I was looking for potential longs at this 15 minute again. We ended up just trailing lower, but we ended up inversing the 5 minute. At this point, I should have been bearish, but I did still want to see longs just because I was a bit married to my bias and we had that highs up here. So that's kind of one of the issues of today, that I was just married a little bit to a bias and I just really wanted to see longs. We ended up SMT in the 9:30, but 9:35 low here. So I thought we would maybe respect this SMT and maybe got lucky and respect the 15 minute gap, but we never ended up doing that. So I chucked that trade idea out the window. I wasn't bothered about that anymore. And then I ended up just waiting and seeing to see if we would get any maybe bearish entries. So I just sat, waited for price to do its thing. We ended up, I was looking at this 4 minute here. I don't know why it fucking does this. No, not force quit trade. That's weird. I don't know why it's coming up. Yeah. So I ended up looking at this 4 minute, but I wasn't gonna take this 4 minute because we ended up opening a 15 minute BPR. And you don't really want to take a 4 minute inversion inside of a 15 minute fair value gap or BPR. You know what I'm saying? So it just wasn't very optimal. But we did have really nice draws on liquidity. We had this sell side here from New York AM low. Well, it's not complete yet, but we did that, and then we also have this sell side here. So very chilling draws. We also have that unfilled 1 hour as a very good draw. So this is actually a 1 hour intermediate low as well. Intermediate low. But yeah, we ended up tapping the 15 minute BPR, and then we ended up respecting that BPR. Ended up getting a lower time frame. Actually, gotta mark this as lower resistance liquidity. A lot of stacked lows here. We ended up getting a push down, inversing a 2 minute gap. This 2 minute gap here. We inversed it with a lot of speed, so I wasn't too keen on taking an entry all the way down here, but I wasn't gonna say no to the CISD entry up here. So I did want to see maybe price retrace into the CISD, so what I did was I just set a limit order on the CISD with my stop just above the IFVG. I should have put it up here, but I wanted a little bit better R, so I just had a loose stop here. I've done that twice now. I'm gonna back test it a little bit more, I think, because I feel like when PA is good and the draw is gonna get hit, you don't really need like a fucking 50 point stop. You can kind of cheat a little bit and then go to like the maybe 30, 40 point stop. But yeah, I had a loose stop around there. I did give it a little bit of room just because it says a devil's mark, so I just didn't want it to wick me and then run. So I did give it a little bit of room, but I ended up taking the entry off CISD. We get wicked in to the trade here. And now I'm just looking for the shorts towards the 1 hour gap. I was going to take profits at the 1 hour intermediate low, but because the 1 hour fair value gap is below it, I assumed the price would want to come down lower anyway. So I just had my full TP here, as that is my real drawn liquidity, not the internal low, but the 1 hour gap. Ended up having my break even at the first internal low, which was this. So even though these lows have been taken, I'm not too bothered about these lows because the draw, like this is the actual low. This is the swing. This is where all the orders are going to be resting. This is where people's stop losses are going to be. So I could see price reacting off this and going higher, even though it likely won't. But that's why you put your stop loss break even, because price can reverse from that area. So that was my break even. Price ended up pushing down with loads of momentum. I ended up moving my stop loss just above this candle wick here after we got break even, and then we ended up wicking all the way down, taking full profits at the 1 hour gap, making me around 400 on my XFA and around, well, I didn't take it on my EVA actually, so show you 395 on the day on the XFA. Accounts floating about 1.8 in profit, which is fucking crazy. This is the closest I've been to a payout since November, so hopefully we can get a payout soon. I'm on daily, so I'm actually I'm just under 300 off of being eligible for a payout, and then I just need a little bit more so I can take a payout. But I think what I'm gonna do, because I've got daily payouts, once I get above 2.1k, if I'm up like 2.6, I'll probably take the 500 out, and then just claim some profits. Because I want to claim some profits. I've been fucking trying to get back to a level of taking a payout and for fucking months. So I'm trying to do that. This eval is passed as well. 2.6k on the eval, 400 profit made today. So yep, solid day on the charts. Not gonna lie. I really do wish I took this trade, and then I wouldn't have had to take this short. But this short was A plus, very nice short. Cannot complain at all. So yeah, I mean these are the trades today. This is what I've taken. Yeah, I mean there's not much else to say on the charts. I didn't expect this to be so bearish though. But I suppose we just reacted off this 1 hour gap. If you draw the trend from here, we are within OTE of the range as well. So makes sense for the shorts. Didn't expect it, but sometimes your bias is just wrong. My bias at the start of the morning wasn't wrong though. I was bullish to the 1 hour gap. I did expect previous day higher and these other draws to get hit, but we must just be leaving that for a more significant move later on. Especially with all the war stuff going on as well. Like we won't be particularly bullish overall, and the overall higher time frame trend does seem to be quite bearish, even though we're stuck in this heavy consolidation. So maybe next week we can come down, take out this low, or maybe even just fill in the equilibrium of the wick to then continue higher, take out all these resting jaws and liquidity. But that was the two trades I ended up one trade I ended up missing and trade I ended up taking today. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, fucking give a like. Why not? Give a fucking like. If you have any questions, just chuck it in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you next week. This week's been really good. If you want a weekly recap as well, shout me or just comment it, because I don't mind doing a weekly recap. In the Discord we had good trades. So we had this trade on today. Yesterday I ended up taking this trade here. Very nice trade. Honestly, like this was like minutes into market open as well. It was so clean. Same as Paddy. And then on Thursday, was it? No wait, this is what, Thursday? So Wednesday here. Yeah, this is Wednesday, I'm sure. On Wednesday I ended up taking this trade on my eval. I actually was gonna go break even at the 3 minute here, but then I never ended up doing it because I was willing to take the risk, and as well there isn't the like really good break even points. But the draw was very obvious, so I should probably went break even up here. But once we made this little slight retrace, I ended up having my break even here, put break even, and then trailing higher. That was like last week. So yeah, I only traded 3 days this week, but I did back test. This trade was Tuesday. I never ended up taking that, and I was looking at charts that day, but I never ended up taking this trade. This is a very good trade though. And then what did we have before that? We had these on Monday. So we had this little trade, which was it wasn't bad, but it was a bit mid. Shit RR. Shit wouldn't that was an eval trade. I wouldn't take that on XFA. That was eval trade. But this trade here, this was a good trade. I would definitely take this on the XFA. 5 minute inversion. entry, and then you can put your stop underneath the 3 minute breaker block as the breaker box protection, winner intermediate high for your draw, and then break even. So this week's been overall like very, very good. You can see, damn, missed this free ass trade. But yeah, this week's been very, very good for trading. Blessed the Lord. Actually, let me see the group chat real quick. I swear I put in this one. Definitely traded today. Looking back at charts, I saw this trade. Wasn't paying attention on the charts today, but definitely would have taken this if I saw it. Super clean, and then blah blah, and then been seeing some decent opportunities this week. Hopefully, this is the start of the comeback, and it does seem like it's the start of the comeback, especially since just the price action has been looking so nice, and I'm fucking cooking on the XFA. So I'd say this is the start of the comeback. My goal is to have 5 XFAs by the end of April. So we'll see if we can do that. Hopefully we will. I've got 2 right now after today once all my shit updates and that. I'm going to start copy trading these 2 accounts next week. Or I might, to be fair, I might just trade the one, get a payout, and then copy trade them. But we'll see what happens anyway. I'm probably going to copy trade those 2, and then not next week, but the week after that, I'm going to buy another eval, just so I can focus on the XFAs until then, and then that'll be that. So, yeah. Solid day though. 2 good trades, this one and this one. Really, really fucking nice. Definitely can't complain. This has been a really, really good week. So, hopefully next week can show just as many opportunities. See you.